Two, one. Kyle Corin. I wanted to
Yo,
start off by I think I've shitted on him before, but I wanted to shit on Rob Lowe real quick because
Rob Lowe.
he's like too perfect. And I just saw a clip of him and he's 61 years old and he was bragging about like how good he looks. But then he started talking about facelifts and like he gets 12 hours of sleep. And I was like, you're cheating the game.
Yeah, man. Come on, you can't. If you're a 61-year-old man and you're vain, that's not right, man. You can't be like that.
So he's 61 and he's probably got mad work done. And then I was looking at Tom Cruise, who probably had a lot of work done too. But then I was like, did Tom Cruise get a lot of work done, or does he just
Oh,
age well? Like, there's some people he
no,
probably
no,
did,
no.
right?
He got a lot of work done. Yeah, most of the people who you have to question, like, oh, did they get? Yes. The answer is yes. They got a
They
lot of
did,
work
right?
done. Yeah, and here's my thoughts on this. We probably talked about this before, but my thoughts on this are: you're allowed one, maximum two things in order to, nip and tuck, make your face look a little nicer or whatever as you get older.
So a
But once you get
facelift is like a maximum, though, right? Like that's like two facelifts, or does facelifts like
no, no, no,
check off two boxes?
facelift might check off two boxes
It has to.
because
I
you,
feel like that's
yeah,
some diesel shit. Like I don't even know what they do
yeah,
for a facelift, but it sounds like some like if there was a character in Batman for like Two Face where like they like cut his whole face off and shit, facelift, like
it's
they
what it
pull
sounds like, bro.
like your skin is literally lifted up or like pulled back.
Yeah, so Biden had a facelift, right? Joe
Oh, did
Biden.
he?
Yeah, he used to have an OD turkey neck, and
Oh,
then one day it just wasn't there anymore. And if you look next to his ears, you could see he's got scars right here, and the scars are from the facelift. So they cut and then they do like sort of pull it back. And
oh,
so and that's my thing, right? Is like I said, if you want to do one or two surgeries, but facelift counts as two if you're gonna do a
yeah,
facelift.
got it.
Like I get it, but that you got to stop because what happens is these people have Mar-a-Lago face after a while, and you start looking ridiculous. In fact, a lot of women now are starting really young. They're starting young, getting plastic surgery, and now a lot of Gen Z girls look older than millennial girls because they got so much
Yeah.
work done that it made them look older now. So you can't that's one of those things you get addicted to it, you're cooked. But on the flip side of it, my friend's dad, he
Mhm.
got one thing done and they freaked it, and it literally took like 8 years off of how old he looks. What he
What do
got
you got,
done
a
is
dick
he had
increase or something?
as you get older, you get this like excess skin under your eyes, and what they do is they
Yeah,
like get rid of that excess skin and just tighten it up. And he just got that one surgery, and like
I feel
that,
like
it was
I'd
like,
be
oh,
good, a good candidate for that shit.
he looked younger, and I didn't know why. I couldn't put my finger on why, and then eventually I learned like, oh yeah, he got that shit done, and that's how the surgery works. And I was like, damn,
How
that
do
was
you
sort
even
of
know that
genius.
was a thing?
I don't know. I don't know how we, and then we're talking about, I'm going back, shit, I must have been 18, 19 years old when he got this shit done. So this is a long time ago too.
Well, so he kind of like revolutionized whatever that shit is. I'm always like I'm fascinated by people. One at the gym, two kind of just smart people. Like when you say some shit or know some shit, like people who discover like that the eye reduction shit was a thing. Like whoever found that out and now is the like eye reduction person, like health
Plastic
guy.
surgeons do that shit. Yeah.
But but like there's probably some plastic surgeons that don't know how to do that shit because that like to me that's like a obscure one. That's not one that I've heard of like pulling your eyes back a little bit, you know? Like there's like I feel like there's pulling your skin up or pulling your skin back and Botox and all that shit and doing the neck thing, but like the eye thing to me is something that's like pretty innovative. Like that's like some specialist.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. If people are going to get any work done, what you have to do is you don't think of it yourself like, "Oh, I want this done or that done." You have to go to a plastic surgeon who's like a really expensive one that knows what they're doing, and you
Yeah.
have to say to them, "What would you do on me?" Because low key they're experts and they'll be able to tell you like, "I wouldn't fuck with this cuz that might look weird. I wouldn't fuck with that. That'll definitely look weird." But if there's this one, if I do that, that shit'll look good. And that's because this happens a lot with dudes with hair transplants, where they'll
Yeah.
have in their mind, like, I want to have a perfect hairline. I want to have, like, the 1998 Steve Harvey shit that's just fucking perfect. And
Crazy how Steve Harvey
what'll
has no
happen is,
hair now.
yeah, it's funny. What'll happen is, if they do it like that, it looks stupid. So a good plastic surgeon knows, like, here's what you can get away with on your face, where this will look normal, but you'll also look better. But because these people, they want too many things, and they have this idea of what they think would look good on them, but it wouldn't actually look good on them. Whereas an expert would know, like, oh, I'm just doing this one shit, and that's it. You're good, and you'll look better that way.
Yeah. It's also bold to like put that trust into someone else because like they might see that like, hey, this will look good on you, and then they do it, and it's just their opinion. Like they think it'll look
Nah,
good.
there's a science to this shit, dog. You'd be surprised. There's a science to this shit. I watched this YouTube channel where this dude, he's like a plastic surgeon and a hair transplant guy, and he
Yeah.
was talking about this exact problem that, like, a dude will come in and be like, I want this, I want this, I want my hairline down to here, and he looks at it and he's like, you have no idea, bro. You will make yourself look so ugly. What you have to do is, it's got to look natural, and I can improve it, but I'm only going to improve it this much. And that's how that shit'll look good. And they'll be like, nah, I don't want that. I want it like this. And it's like, you just don't know what you're talking. Like, there is a science to this shit.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's a science to how somebody can look their best. And these
Yeah.
people know what they're doing, how to bring that out, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I guess even with my haircut, like I've always just known it as a certain way. But if I were to go to like a professional ass hairstylist and they did it a certain way based on how my head is shaped, like to your point, there's probably a science based off of how my head is shaped, of how my hair is like symmetrically supposed to look. You know, and like granted,
That's right.
everyone does different hairstyles and does their own shit. There's gotta be like a mathematical perfect
Ideal haircut for you. Yeah, it's true.
ideal haircut.
That's true. But what's fucked up for us in particular is that, like, what we would want for a perfect haircut is half the shit you get at a black barbershop where they fade you up nice.
Yeah.
But then the other half of it would be like at a salon where they texture your hair and make it look perfect on top.
Yeah.
The thing is, you have to pick. As a white dude, you have to pick. Do I want the bang and fade, or do I want the hair on top to look on point?
Yeah.
Because the salon can't fade worth a shit,
No.
and the barbershop can't do the top worth a shit.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, the toughest part for me, and one thing that I like that Jed could do, but I feel like this takes a little bit more time. The scissors. The scissors on top was always the hardest thing for anybody to do. And that was the toughest. And I was I also, you ever do like that origami shit where you have to like cut it and then it turns into like some crazy like Christmas ornament shit? Whoever's nice with scissors or is like a good barber or hair salon is got to be good with that like Christmas ornament, cutting up that shit and putting decorations up like to a T.
Yeah, the scissors part is tough, man. That's the part, even me doing my own hair, that's always the part that it's like, I don't know how to do it. Like, if I wanted to put texture in my hair, I don't know how to fucking do that shit, right?
Scissors are impossible.
It was easier to learn how to fade than it was to learn how to cut it up top. But there's not a white salon in America where they know how to fade you right.
No.
There's not a single one.
Yeah, I mean,
they don't know how to fade.
There's some white barbers that like kind of like break the barrier and go into like a Dominican barbershop or like, you know, a black barbershop.
But they count as in the black barbershop. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're in the black barbershop. So it counts as they're in the black barbershop, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. There's what was B&A's? They were Greek or Russian?
They were some like Russian immigrants or something like that.
Because that's everybody thought they knew how to do a good fade, but then there was a black barbershop across the street and they like will like put them to shame.
Yeah, what B&A's was good at was the pointy sideburns they were in at the time. They could give you a good pointy sideburn, but to your point, they didn't know how to do an actual skin tight fade. They could fade you with a 1 or something, but they couldn't do it like the black barbershops could.
And also with like the doctors and stuff now, they probably can show you on video like what exactly you'll look like with whatever you're going to get done. So to get something done now compared to whenever that guy got his eye shit done, like he was just taking a shot in the dark that they wouldn't fuck his shit up and he was going to look like some crazy ass motherfucker, you know, like, and now they'd be like, this is exactly what you're gonna look like. And you could be like, bet, I want to do that. Which is like such a big, like, you don't hear people who get work done in the past really getting, well, they don't get as much microphone as someone who is getting free college now or would get free college if that shit would get passed, because they're not up in arms about people who probably can see what they look like, because back in the day they were getting work done without even knowing what was going to happen. Whereas people getting work done now see what the outcome's going to be beforehand, so they can be like, ah, never mind.
Do they have an app that shows you like this will be your ideal haircut? This, like, is there
That
an
would be a
app
good
that does
app,
it?
actually. I never
Yeah,
heard or seen of that.
To your point, I've seen this shit where you take a picture of a room and then it shows you how to decorate it.
Yeah.
Where it's like you put this there, put that there. But like I've never seen some shit where you put your face in and it's like, this is the haircut you need, or this is the facial hair you need. You know what I'm saying?
That's a really good. I like that a lot. I mean, like, it's subjective. I feel like it would have to be like a group
It is
of
and
like.
it isn't, right? Like it's a little it is a little subjective, but it's also kind of not. Like if
Yeah,
I
I
had a
feel
Jerry
yeah,
curl, people would be laughing like that looks worse.
true. I feel like it has to be like an AI app mixed with like 500 like wives from like 35 to 47-year-old wives that like can tell you that haircut looks good on that guy. He should have facial hair. Outside that range, the app won't work unless you want like an older version of the app or something like that. Not to like dismiss all those other ages, but that's where I feel like the perfect eye is. That's probably when you have your best eyesight, is from like, what I say, 30, 32?
35 to 47, I think you said.
Yeah, 35 to 47. Like, you're probably in the prime of your eyesight, or eyesight could maybe start a little younger from like 20. Your prime eyesight might be from like 20.
I think just the younger you are, the better your eyes are, because at least mine got worse with age. You know, when I was in like
I feel like there's a
kindergarten, I had good eyes.
But I feel like too young, your eyes aren't fully developed yet. But at like 26 or some shit, that's when, like, if someone was like, can you see that all the way down there? You'll be like, yeah, I got you. But when you hit like 46, that's when you're like, I can't see that anymore.
For me, my shit just got worse as I got older. But it's also like that part's a matter of opinion, right? Like I do sort of trust like a mom type character to be honest. Like if I asked a 40-year-old woman, what do you think of this haircut? She'd be like, nah, you look stupid. You know?
Yeah. Or maybe there should be two different apps. One for hairstyle.
Damn, you're sort of freezing.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah, you were freezing for a second.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my computer, I don't know, like, what I like have had it on since like 1947 and haven't shut it off, so it's probably like you need to restart me. But I feel like there needs to be one app for hairstyle and then one app for facial hair, because it's two different categories.
You know,
And
when I
two
was
different
younger,
demos that like can judge it.
when I was younger, I was really anti facial hair. But now as I've gotten older, somebody said something that really stuck with me, and they
Me
were
too.
like, they said facial hair is just like makeup for boys, makeup for men. And I was like, damn, that's sort of genius. Because, like, think about it. If there's anything you're self-conscious about, if you just grow out some facial hair, it, like, covers half your face, and you're just like, it
That's
just
true.
covers it. And
Yeah, that probably
also,
got
by
some
default, it
flavor.
makes you look
Yeah.
more masculine because it's facial hair, you know? So when I was a kid, because
Yep.
when we were kids, I feel like there was a period, probably in the 1990s, where, like, no men had facial hair. Like, it was just the whole, like, there was some directive that came down from the president or something that was like, we don't do facial hair in this country anymore. And nobody had fucking facial hair. And then as we got older, at some point,
Yeah.
people started growing it back. And now I look at it and I'm like, it's sort of crazy that we ever were walking around without facial hair, because some grown-ass men who shave their face, bro, every man, when they get over a certain age, any man when they get over the age of, like, 70, they start to look like Miss Doubtfire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you gotta wear a beard, dog. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, it's not working if you don't wear a beard. They actually did some study on this shit where they asked women, hey, how do you like the man? And they would show a picture with no facial hair, with stubble, with a beard. They gave them, like, a few options. And the beard was the one that they liked the most. And the one they liked the least, believe it or not, was actually the stubble. They'd rather have no facial hair, or
Yeah.
a full beard was the preference, but the stubble was
Yep.
the least favorite.
Yeah. it's funny how, to your point, as you get older, your chin just starts to kind of like disappear. Like your chin goes away and your
Word.
face just
Yep.
sort of turns into like turtle mush.
You just look bad. Like guys as they age and they shave their face, it just doesn't look good. Like the skin, you know what a
Yeah.
dead giveaway for age is like neck skin, right? Like you kind of want to cover as much of that shit as you can, dog. Like I've always been self-conscious about the area under my chin. There's a little bit of like a little turkey
Yeah.
neck going on there. It's just a little
Yeah.
bit of a pudge that pops out over there. And I've always noticed it. And if you take a picture from a low angle, I'm like, "Oh my god, that shit is disgusting." But when I grow out the facial hair, you can't even see it. You can't even see it anymore.
Yeah. But I mean, if you take a picture from a bad angle on any angle, like on any person, it's gonna look bad. Like when you open up the iPhone and it's facing you, that angle right away is just notoriously like the worst angle and just kills your. There should, there's got to be some safety feature. And I won't be surprised if Apple comes out with this one day where like the camera is not allowed to open up on you, and they use that as their advertising tactic because there's so many times where it opens up on you and automatically you're like, fuck, this is what I'm looking like right now, like, and I feel like an idiot. Someone just saw the camera open up on me in this like. So I think at some point they're gonna have some marketing campaign that like the camera won't open up on your face that way.
If I upload a video to YouTube and gives you like the default thumbnail options, it'll show like 3 different
Hmm.
pictures of me at some
Hmm.
point in my rant. And there has never been a single time in my life where it's had a flattering picture of me talking. It's always me making some face like, or
Yeah,
I'm always in some weird face position, And it's like,
it is.
how have they not figured that shit out? Where you could take a picture of me from my rant, where at least my face is like in between words, and I'm just sitting there normal.
Yeah. No, that's a good ass point. Every time I try to take a thumbnail too, Molly's like, just send me like a screenshot from the video. And I'll scroll through the thumbnail. And to your point, every time I freeze it, it ends on some shit that's just like the weirdest face that, yeah, I can never stop it perfectly. To your point, there should be a, like, they do so many features on Riverside, on YouTube, that like there's no feature where they could get a clear picture of the two people, like either smiling or laughing or like not looking crazy.
Yep, yep. Have you ever
Um,
used the Face app before? You heard of the Face app?
There was one I didn't download because like for some reason it was like it got picked up in the news that like China was like stealing everybody's information
Mm.
from it. But there was like 700 face apps, like Snapchat will do a face app, but there was one that everyone was doing. I don't know if it turned into a cartoon or something like that.
I think it was the one where you could make yourself like a woman. You can make yourself like all
Older or some
different
shit.
shit. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
older,
yeah, yeah.
beard, bald, etc., etc. But there was a Face app that it just like the whole point is just you could clean up pictures of yourself. Like you could take a picture of yourself and then you like press a button and it gets rid of all the blemishes blemishes on your skin. You press a button and it could make your
Oh, I
teeth
did. I
whiter.
think it's yeah.
Yeah. And that shit was like in principle, I'm sort of against that. It's sort of like, hey, fuck you. That shit is just like faking it for everybody. But then after I saw a
Yeah,
picture
of
of
course.
myself and they cleaned it up, I was like, oh, that actually looks really good.
But then it's like you go back to your real life. Like some days, like I'll look in the mirror and I'm like,
Right.
all right, I'm looking all right today. And then back to the iPhone thing, I'll turn the camera on me, or someone will take a picture of me. I'm like, damn, that's what I look like.
Yeah. It's rough, dog.
That's the same thing with my voice too. Are you good with your voice? Listening back to your stuff and hearing your voice?
No. Oh, I hate my voice. I hate my
See, like
voice.
I think your voice sounds fine, but I listen back to my voice and I'm like, I can't listen to it.
It's just it really that's some hardwired shit right there, man. Because I've never talked to anybody who's like, yeah, I love the sound of my voice. Like even the
Yeah.
microphones I use are microphones that don't have a lot of top end in it, so it almost like makes my voice sound a little more bassy. And even with them, I
Mhm.
listen and I'm like, oh, I don't know how anybody listens to me, bro.
Nah, I think your voice is fine for it. So 2 days ago, I woke up and like, well, it was actually I crushed. I think I sent you and Bobby a picture, but I had some banging Chinese food. I sent you a picture, and then I went to sleep that night, and literally in the middle of the night, pause. I couldn't like swallow the whole night, and for the next 2 days, my throat, like every time I try to swallow, I just couldn't. I couldn't get it, and then my dumbass, I was like, I think I just got a sore throat, and someone was like, you might have like strep throat. I didn't get
Oh,
it
you had
checked
strep?
or anything like that. I didn't have strep.
Okay.
I'm good
Okay.
now. But I didn't know like what I never really had like a sore throat like that where I couldn't like swallow or like
Really?
eat food without it really hurting. Like that shit kind of was like irritating as fuck.
It's funny you say that because that happened to me. I don't know if you could hear it in my voice. My voice might sound a little like hoarse right now because that
Not
happened to me
really.
last night. That happened to me last night. I woke up last night, same shit.
Like
I woke up
you
last
couldn't
night.
swallow.
Yeah, I had sore throat, really struggled to swallow, and then
Yeah.
I went to the bathroom and I started like hawking up loogies and I had yellow phlegm. But it's weird
Oh,
because I didn't have any fucking like no nasal symptoms, no
same.
congestion. It was
Nothing.
just the throat,
Yeah.
just the throat. And so now I'm like, I don't know, do I have strep throat? Because when I was a kid, I used to get that bitch every year, dog.
Oh,
Every
really?
year I got strep throat. Yeah, but they said the yellow phlegm is not common with strep throat, so I don't know if it is, but I used to get that shit all the time, dog.
But I was like scared. I was actually like sleeping and I would get up like it was like every 3 hours or so where like I kind of really
Yeah.
had to like
Hmm.
take a deep breath, but like do it cautiously where it didn't feel like there was a razor blade cutting my neck. I would also drink a
Yeah,
little bit of water. Like, does your throat
that's
feel
my
better
trick.
now, or are you good?
No, it's not right. I think I might have something coming on. I might have some sickness coming on or something, and I'm just in the beginning phases of it. You know what I'm saying? But
I didn't
I
know if
did
it
the
was
same
like
thing.
allergies though too.
Yeah, I did take a Claritin this morning, thinking maybe that'll help. I feel like it helped a
Yeah,
little bit during the day, but then now I'm right back to where I was before. So it might be allergies, it might not
yeah,
be allergies. But to your point, I do the same shit because I've had this before too, where like I can't swallow either, and I start to like panic about it. And so what I
no,
do is I
yeah. It
get a
was like
big
scary.
ass. It's scary. So, but what I do is I get a big ass glass of ice water next to my bed, and every time I feel
Yeah,
that, I'll just get up and drink, get up and drink, get up and drink to like
but
force
even when you
myself
drink, does
to
it still
swallow.
hurt a little bit, or are you still good?
The pain is still there, but it
Yeah,
makes me feel a little bit of relief that I was able to swallow. You know what I'm saying? Like just
yeah,
getting some more liquid down there, like that makes me feel a little bit better. The other thing is when I have a sore throat, there's some cough drops that are really good that sort of numb the shit out of your throat. That chloroseptic spray is actually really good, which also numbs the shit out of your throat. And then sometimes what I'll do
yeah. I
is
try to
just have
spray it.
some ice cubes in my mouth. Just keep some ice cubes in my mouth
Oh,
because that'll like numb everything too, make it feel a little bit
yeah,
better. Those are usually my tricks when I'm dealing with a sore throat.
yeah. Yo, this is like the first time really that I was like, for the 2 days ago, that shit was really hurting. I tried to do like a little lemon spray. I didn't know if hot or cold was better. I had
I like
like a
cold. I
hot
prefer cold.
cold, yeah, cold,
Yeah,
and then I had low key like ginger ale helped. I felt like the whatever the ginger was in there was
helped
like
out.
killing all the bacteria in my throat. But then I started questioning because I went to the gym and every time I get out of the sauna, I'll still have a little bit of water left in my water bottle, and the shower is like to the side. So I'll put my water bottle down on this like long bench they have in between the sauna and the showers. And I was coming out of the shower, and this dude had his ass cheeks right next to my water bottle, bro. Like it looked like the top of my water bottle was in his ass crack. That's how
Oh
close it
my
was.
god, bro.
And I already committed to going to like grab my bottle, and like I also wanted to confirm that like the top of my bottle wasn't in his ass crack. So like I went and grabbed the shit, and then literally the next day I have this throat thing. So I was kind of questioning
You were
if like
thinking I got his ass in my mouth.
I have his ass in my mouth, or maybe he like farted on the top of my water bottle or something like that, and kind of like OD contaminated me. Because now I cleaned the shit out of the water bottle, but I think this dude really gave me like my like ass throat, bro.
Bro, so let me just say, just the gym, like you mentioned the gym, just the gym
Yeah.
alone, like you could pick up anything. Like you get any of a
Anyway,
number of
yeah.
viruses from that shit. Like that shit is just one of the grossest places. If you think about it, what everybody's going, got everybody's bacteria and sweat and shit just mixing around. So that's one thing that could lead to
Yeah.
it. Um, the other thing is you like if you like I had to pull like all nighter recently because we had to take our youngest to the hospital because she was having some
Oh
stomach
shit.
shit, and it turns out she was fine. Low key, I was sort of when we got the word that like she was totally fine. I was like, really, you made us do all this shit, and you're
I would. Hey,
like
if
like
Crystal
I was like, bro,
listens,
I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad you're okay,
yeah.
but really,
But come on, like, yeah. No, I feel anyone who's listening that got cited you for that, you're wrong. Like I would feel the same way. Like yo, you're good. But come on, like, come on. Like, that's you just hit him with like three come ons, and like that justifies. But no, I feel you on that. But like, thankfully
Yeah,
she's all right. But that, yeah.
because last time she had a pain in her stomach, she needed surgery. She needed
Oh,
surgery.
okay.
She had this band which was like constricting her intestines,
Oh,
and
Jesus.
yeah, and so they needed to cut that bitch out. But this time it was just they think it was just a virus or something, and it was hurting her
Oh,
tummy a little bit or whatever. But anyway, I had to pull an all nighter because of that, and I feel like because I like had to be awake all night, and then my sleep schedule got fucked up. That may have
yeah,
made my immune system come down, and I could have caught something.
100%.
And then the other thing is, I'm still a believer in this. I'm curious what you think about this. I'm a big believer in my whole life. It's been like this. If it's like the winter outside and it's like 17 degrees outside and it's like 72 degrees in the house and you have to keep going back and forth between the hot and the cold and the hot and the cold, and vice versa. If it's the middle of summer, it's 86 degrees outside, but it's 68 in the house and you keep coming in and going out and coming in and going out. For me, I always felt like that fucked me up where my immune system would come down and I'd be able to get sicker easy. And like both of those things happened recently. My
100%.
sleep schedule got fucked up and I was in and out in different like changes, and I just been busy as fuck. Like to your point, I was
Yeah.
actually at the YMCA the other day, and they have a big ass gym there, and there was a bunch of people
Yeah.
around. And again, you could pick up anything in an environment like that. So I'm thinking it's probably a virus, maybe strep throat. Might go to the urgent care tomorrow because Crystal also had a tick. Crystal had
Oh,
I've been getting ticks like a motherfucker. I've had like 4 ticks so far this year that I had to pick off, bro.
yes.
Dead ass, because we live in the sticks, bro. We're in the
Yeah.
country on some
But you'll
shit,
just
and
see
like
it on you?
yeah. So whenever I'm out in our front lawn or whatever the fuck, and the
You got
dude
me
who cuts
itching
the
myself
grass
now.
hasn't been there in a hot minute, and the grass is kind of long, and I'm wearing shorts, and I'll go to hop in the shower, and it's just like, oh shit, there's a tick right here, and I'll pick that shit off. Crystal's today was on her back, bro. She was like, oh, do I have a tick here? And she walked over, and I looked. I was like, yeah, you do. I had to get the tweezers and get it off
No.
her that way. So, yeah.
Oh my
So anyway,
gosh.
we might go to the urgent care just to get some antibiotics for her, and maybe for me if what I got is bacterial.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I was because I looked up on ChatGPT like what strep throat is or what it does, and I spelled strep OD wrong. I think I put like, and then and then I think even ChatGPT was like, I think you're trying to spell strep, and it's commonly spelled the dumbass way that your ass was trying to spell that shit. um, and then it said, yeah, there was some medicine and I was like, if I had that medicine, this shit would probably go away like this. Because I felt like it wanted to go away, but I was just doing like
Mhm.
house remedy shit. That if I had
Mhm.
whatever that, so to your point, but damn, that tick shit is no joke, man. And that scares me. Like I feel like it's gotta be rare for the tick to be carrying Lyme disease, but now like I feel like if I ever had a tick on me, the one tick would have Lyme disease. Like it'd be like I can't ever win the lotto. That shit's like getting struck by lightning. But if it's the same odds to have a tick with Lyme disease, that motherfucker would find its way to my skin.
And just the feeling is gross, dog. The feeling is so
Yeah,
gross
that
having
too.
this little thing burrowed in your skin, like trying to fucking
Oh,
go deep. Like, fuck you, get off me. This shit is gross. So
I
yeah,
feel like
go ahead.
no, I was gonna say I feel like if you've had multiple, I feel like I'd be to a point where like if like my like I'd just be so self-conscious now where like every little itch,
I
I'd
do.
be
I look
like,
every
shit,
day.
that's a tick.
I look every day, dog. I look every day. In fact,
Yeah,
one of the ticks that I had, the first one of the year, I want to say,
Billy.
I didn't know how long it was on me, and so I just went to the urgent care and got some antibiotics in case I were to get Lyme disease. Because if you get the antibiotics up front, you can nip
Oh,
it in the bud and not have
yeah.
Lyme disease at all. And so I already went and got that shit. So we should actually go get some medicine tomorrow. Because goddamn, like I don't want to. I'm whatever the
Yeah,
fuck I
no.
got now. I don't want it to get worse. Did I tell you when I had COVID recently? I had COVID like in the
No,
winter, and it was bad. I got like whatever the new bad shit is,
I think
and
Jed had that strain too.
so you tell me what happened with him, because with me, I just wanted to lay in bed for 2 weeks straight, and I could not. For 2 weeks straight, I was so congested, and for 2 weeks straight, I was just blowing my nose every 5 minutes and like had no energy. And every time I kept thinking this shit'll be better by tomorrow, it just wouldn't get better. It just
Damn.
wouldn't get better.
Yeah, he was. I think he was just super lethargic. And then he lost his appetite too, which was a new one because like he can eat anything and like taste anything, and he was like, I can't taste shit, and that was like, for him was like that was a weird moment. I don't think he was ever scared. I don't think people are like scared of COVID anymore. Like no one's really
No.
like dying from COVID anymore, right? Is that because of the
Yeah,
vaccine?
it's more rare now. The vaccine and also as a virus usually mutates and changes, usually gets less deadly.
Yeah, that makes
And
sense.
so yeah, it was just like the world's longest cold ever that I've ever had.
Yeah,
Like it just
damn.
kept going and going and going and going. Literally 2 weeks. And then Crystal after like, the first 4 or 5 days be like, "Oh, you want to go to this thing or that thing?" I'm like, "No, I don't want to do shit. Like just I want to lay here." You know?
Um, that's a good ass excuse, one, to like just get out a whole bunch of shit. I remember when I had COVID, like Molly blessed me and let me like kind of sleep in the bed the whole time. Like there was a meter running of like when you're done with this shit, like here's the list of everything that like you fucking missed out on. But when I did have that shit, it was, and also when I had to like your daughter's point, I when I went to the hospital because of my breathing, I was at the point where I was like, all right, I really got to go to the hospital because I didn't want to be on some shit where like I went and they were like, yeah, you just like you could have blah 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 blah, and then Molly been like, yeah, of course I'm gonna be here with you for the whole night, but also like I just missed out on like a whole night of sleep and now I'm like mad tired, so I had to make sure when I went, I was in the hospital for like 3 days with some like fucking bronchitis shit.
What'd they give you? What'd they give
They
you for that?
they gave me mad shit. Like I was in a fucking like breathing tube shit. Like and then they had the thing in my nose for a couple days. And they just gave me a whole bunch of like medicine. I don't know, like to like kind of decrease the like because it was all like congestion in my chest or some shit like that. It was all like inflamed or something.
Was it a virus that made it happen or no? Did they say?
I don't know what it was. I remember like I mean I think I told you like we came back from Texas, Rogan shit, and
I remember that.
we were
Yeah, I
sitting in
remember
like the
that.
back of the hotel and there was like some trees that I feel like I was like I don't know if I was just allergic to like the Texas trees or some shit, but like
Yeah, it could have been some specific type of pollen or something
but
that just
whatever
I
it
remember
was.
this.
And then at the end, the last day, the doctor wanted to give me like a surgery to like it wasn't a fucking big surgery, but he wanted to give me a shot to drain the actual like fluid in my chest or whatever. And I was like, dude, the last 2 days it's been like decreasing, decreasing, going down. Like I don't want to do any type of surgery. Like just let it keep doing its course. Like I'm gonna be good. Um and uh and he didn't, thankfully, because that would have been like my first surgery. I never had surgery before, so I didn't want to
Mm.
like I felt like I knew my body to like be fine. Um and that's what I mean. Like, I guess people know their body's the best, but also you got to trust like science and doctors, but also sometimes you can question their shit a little bit too.
So did you ever try to take like Claritin or Benadryl or something after that happened? Because it maybe was an
Um,
allergic reaction, you know?
I don't think I tried any allergy medicine in the moment because I literally, it kind of happened quickly. I think like maybe the day before I was having trouble breathing a little bit when I went to sleep, and then it was literally like the next day I couldn't breathe at all. And like I tried to get up from bed and kind of walk a little bit and I just couldn't breathe.
Oh
And then
my
I like slept
God,
on the
bro.
couch downstairs and like was like I couldn't like get my breath. And even when I got to the hospital, they said my breathing was like in like the 70s or some shit and it was supposed to be in like the 120s or some like 130s for whatever
Ooh.
like levels they needed. Um and so they took me back
God
right away.
damn.
Did you have to, was it like similar to when you went to what, did you go to the emergency room?
So we went to the pediatric emergency room,
Oh, so was
which,
that a Jedi?
bro, they get so much better care than we do as adults. Like
Really?
their shit is on point, dog. That shit is on point.
Yeah.
You show up, there was nobody in the emergency room. Nobody. It was
But
the
that's
nicest
surprising,
look.
right? Because you would think like some kid fucking did some dumb shit to get hurt.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that there were people in the rooms, but like back in the
Getting
emergency
help.
room, like in the actual other rooms, but in the waiting room, there was nobody. And then it was nicer than any waiting room I've ever seen in my life, like the couches and the TV. And then you get back there and they help a lot faster than it
Yeah.
is for adults. And it's just like, everybody should get this level of care. This level of care is amazing.
Maybe they do
You
that
know?
shit on purpose. Because to your point, when I take my kids to the doctor, there's like fucking dope ass paintings on the wall. There's like a big ass fish tank. There's like
Yeah.
games
It's just
and fucking
chill as
magazines.
fuck.
Chill as fuck, super clean. The one part I don't get is when they have like the sick kid area right next to the like well kid area. I'm like, whatever you're trying to separate here is not going to work. But maybe they're
Yeah.
like, maybe that's some tactic for doctors to have kids not be afraid of the doctor, and then just when you get older, they're like, "Yo, we got you already." So like, we're just gonna have maybe a picture on the wall of some shit like a bicycle, but
They don't give
that's
a
all you're
fuck
getting.
about. They
They
don't give
don't
a
care.
fuck. Every emergency room I've been in for myself as an adult has been like 78 people in the waiting room, 3 people dying, 1 person bleeding out. People been like, I've been waiting here for 17 hours. And you show up and you're like, oh shit, this is not going to go well. But for the kid shit, oh my God, it was so much nicer. It made me jealous of like, I feel like everybody should have that level of care. But that shit about your
Yeah.
breathing is crazy, man. Like, have you ever been diagnosed with asthma or anything like that or no?
I don't know if I was like officially ever diagnosed with it. I don't know if I've ever officially been diagnosed with anything. Like I think at one point, I had a doctor tell me I had um, like my thyroid was off or some shit like that, and I was like, all right, cool. And I don't think I ever did anything with it. And then, the only doctor I listened to was the one in high school that put me on the hair pill shit, and I just been doing that since literally high school. The
Yeah, the
finasteride.
thyroid thing. I think my,
Every
my
other
cousin
doctor
has
that
that.
has told me some shit.
I think my cousin has that thyroid thing. He's
Yeah,
had
but I
some
feel like
autoimmune
everybody.
issue
I feel
and
like
had to do with his
I,
thyroid.
yeah, but like I'm not gonna say that people don't have a thyroid problem, but like if I were to be a conspiracy theorist on any disease, it would be some thyroid shit. And Molly's gonna get mad at me because she's gonna be like, you're an idiot because there's definitely people out there that like she has thyroid something where she has to take medicine for her thyroid, and she's gonna listen to this and be so mad at me. But like I feel like doctors, if your level is off 1 degree with your thyroid, they're gonna like put you on some shit and prescribe you something. Like I feel like that's probably the most easily like detectable shit that like a day one doctor can read on his chart is thyroid shit.
I gotta be honest, I don't even know what the fucking thyroid does, dog. I don't
I
even
don't
know
know
what it
either.
does.
I don't know either. That's what I'm
Yeah, so
saying.
I don't.
Like,
For me, I know for me the problem that I had was cholesterol levels, and that
yeah,
that really that really runs in my family. Where like you go down the line, and my uncles and my aunts and my mom and everybody's got high cholesterol, and that could lead to heart attacks and shit. So I was prescribed shit for my cholesterol, which I take, and that shit there's 0 side effects, and if anything, it makes me feel a little bit better, and so I have no
you got to
problem
take
taking
that
that shit.
forever.
Yeah,
That's something
yeah.
you have to take the rest of your life.
Totally, yeah. And because my good cholesterol is high, but also my bad cholesterol is really high, and so it's just a way to keep it. And every now and then I have to go for blood work to see how it is. And when I take the shit, my cholesterol is actually really good. So I keep taking that. I don't have blood
Wait,
pressure problems, but I do have
yeah.
cholesterol problems.
So you have a high cholesterol that's good. What did you and a bad? You have a high cholesterol and a
Yeah,
bad cholesterol.
there's a certain kind of cholesterol that's good, and then there's a certain kind of cholesterol that's bad. And I have high levels of
Okay.
both the good and the bad cholesterol.
Oh, okay.
And the high good cholesterol, it's good to have high levels of cholesterol, the good cholesterol, but it's bad to have high levels of the bad cholesterol. And
And
so
is
it gets
that
the
just
shit
something
under
that's
control.
passed down?
It's
Is
mostly
that
genetic. Diet plays a part
genetic?
too. Yeah, it's mostly genetic, but diet also plays a part. I mean, obviously, I don't eat the healthiest diet in the world, but even if I were
Yeah.
to clean it up perfectly, the levels are so high that even if I did clean up my diet and started eating like really perfect, I would still have above what's the acceptable range for that shit. And so either way, I have
How's
to I have to be on the pills.
how's RFK Jr. doing? I saw like Ben and
Terrible.
Jerry's was wilding out him for some shit. Like,
Yeah, they
what
were
was
they
he
were.
at him for?
I feel like that was a protest about. I want to say it was a protest about Gaza, but I don't know why they would do that at Health and Human Services
Oh,
because RFK has nothing to do with that. But I don't know. Maybe that was just a
yeah,
side point
yeah,
that the
you're
Ben
right.
and Jerry's dude made. But the shit that he's been doing that's been fucked up recently is he just limited the COVID vaccine and made it so that if you're like healthy, you can't get it. They made it so that you can only get it if you're like in a high risk pool.
Really? So even if you
Yeah.
want to get that shit, like it's
Yeah,
gonna be
even if you want to get
difficult.
it, if you're healthy, they won't let you get it. Even if you live with somebody who's immunocompromised, they won't let you get it.
Mhm.
So it's fucked up. He also did, we have that measles outbreak in Texas, and he was telling
Oh, I didn't know
people
that.
he was like, "Oh, take vitamin A to treat it." And then what happened is you had a bunch of kids who had measles whose parents gave them vitamin A, and then they had to go to the emergency room and they had both measles and vitamin A poisoning. So he fucked everybody
Oh
up, man. You saw he was swimming in sewage water?
no, I didn't see that. What was that? Was that for or cause?
Dog. He went swimming in sewage water with his grandkids. They took a
Was
picture
he trying to
of
prove a point?
no, there's this like creek that runs through Washington D.C. and he decided like let's go swimming in that shit
Like he
and
just wanted to take his family swimming.
just wanted to take him swimming. And an idiot like him thinks like, "Oh, natural creek water, that shit is probably the most pure." Meanwhile, there's
And
literally
it
like
was sewage
government
water?
warnings that shit is packed full of bacteria and shit and all sorts of chemicals and shit. And he was swimming and he put his head under the water and everything, bro. He's got his little kids there with him, making him swim in the sewage creek. He's a
Oh, I feel
psycho,
so
man.
bad
That
for
guy's
those
fucking
kids,
psycho.
man. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
those
feel
kids are
like
cooked, bro.
he has to know. Like someone has to tip him off of like, yo, you're swimming in some shit water.
Bro, but that's the thing, right? Like, whoever would tell him that, he would think like, "Oh, you're one of the bad guys. You're in on the conspiracy." Like, I'm
Yeah, that's
trying to
true.
swim in this beautiful natural creek water and you're part of the conspiracy. This motherfucker, I don't know if you saw that. There was a video of him on an airplane taking this blue liquid. And come to find out the blue liquid
No.
is this shit called methylene blue. And it's used for a bunch of things. It's used to treat certain illnesses, but it's also used as a fish tank cleaner. And this is the new
What?
shit that's like big in right-wing circles where they pretend like this is some miracle drug that cures all these problems. And so he was taking methylene blue on an airplane, but he also gave himself like 5 times the size of the dose you were supposed to. And when you take that shit, they have pictures online of this. If somebody takes methylene blue, their brain literally turns blue. So you look at like a picture of somebody with a normal brain and that shit is pink, and you look at a picture of somebody who took
Yeah.
methylene blue, their brain is like bright blue. Like he's just a crank, bro. Any sort of alternative medicine shit he hears about, he's like, "Oh, I'm doing that shit." And fuck the actual science.
Well, and that's scary because like that type of shit is he's got a following of like that Joe Rogan cult like
Mhm.
Huberman lab type of shit where like
Yep.
if they see you doing some obscure like sciency different, oh, this is ivory blah 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 or jabba like there people are going to try that and they're going to do it in ways that's probably not the most healthiest. So they're going to be going backdoor channels of getting these chemicals and drugs. So what do they think this does?
They think it like improves your mitochondria or something like that. They got all these goofy theories. Jordan Peterson had people eating an all meat diet, bro. He had people eating like nothing but steak as the only thing they eat.
Yeah, that's why I'm not gonna front. When I used to fly, I think it was JetBlue. Um, they used to give these Terra chips, and they were blue. They were like blue Terra chips.
Mhm.
Like Terra
Mhm.
chips was the brand. It was in a black bag. Do you know what I'm
Mhm.
talking about or no?
Yep, 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 I do.
Kind of
Yep.
was like a Cape Cod chip, but it was blue. And I was always just like, why is this chip blue? And it would always like freak me the fuck out. And then I would get it, and it wasn't a bad chip. And then my stepfather Gary used to buy those chips, I think, for the house. But I don't know if that chip was blue from some like natural reasoning, but like I couldn't think of why. Like, was there ever a blue potato or some shit? Like, do you know the chip I'm talking about? It was like a blue
I know
chip,
the chip you're talking about. I
and I
don't know
just
of a
never
blue
understood.
potato.
But I never understood. Yeah, so like maybe JetBlue was onto that RFK shit before he was, but they had everybody eating those blue potato chips. And that was like a popular chip back in probably like 98,
Yeah.
97. But Terra chips isn't a thing anymore, probably because like I might have a blue ass brain because of that shit.
I don't think that's made with methylene blue, but I'm a hypocrite on this though because obviously I love like fucking Hawaiian Punch. I love
Oh
those.
yeah, true.
What are they called? Squeeze Its.
Yeah.
You remember the Squeeze It drink where you like can twist the top off and it's in like a skinny plastic bottle and you drink from
Yes.
it? That shit
Yeah.
was my shit, bro. That was my
Those
shit.
those 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 bottles were like made out of like it was almost like a clay or something like that. Like the way you
Yeah,
twisted those tops off,
yeah. Pop off like that. Man, I fuck with those. I haven't had one of those in forever. It's like pure sugar. It's like 100% sugar, that drink.
all sugar. But like it was not even I feel like if I gave one of those to my kids right now, it'd be they'd be like who's the cartoon character that like bounces off all the walls and all that shit? Is that Tasmanian Devil going crazy?
Well, Tasmanian Devil. Yeah, I was gonna say Wile E. Coyote, but I think Tasmanian Devil is who
Oh
you're
yeah,
thinking
him
about.
too.
hmm
Yeah, one of them would like just bounce mad fast around all the shit, and it would just be like bing, bing, bing. Like that would be them. But we used
It's
to
like
have
crack.
like, I feel like, yeah, like, but we would have like two, three of those shits, and have like literally, you had the box of goldfish that was like the biggest size ever, and like we would just be like, all right, like our parents would be like, all right, time to go home. And we would just pack our shit up and go home after like literally having probably 200 grams of like sugar, like 2,000 grams of sugar.
That's so true. Do your kids eat like relatively healthy? Do they have like snacks that are healthy and how's
Yeah,
that go?
Molly tries to. Yeah, Molly's like big on like organic stuff, and she tries to like not do, or we try to not do a lot of like sugary snacks or shit that like has like um food coloring, all that stuff. So like we do an okay job, but everywhere they go, they get lollipops and a whole bunch of shit. So when they get something super sugary, it's a wrap. Like it's a wrap. Like I can't even like control them. It's crazy like how different someone acts. Like it's like a human case study that you see in real time. Like there's no science, you don't have to put rats in cages and see them fucking wilding out. Like I see that shit when someone has some fucking fruit roll up ass shit compared to some regular ass like natural weak ass strawberry chip shit, the difference in people, and it's fucking wild.
It is, and kids. I feel like kids are really. It's really common that kids have a sweet tooth. Like they
Yeah,
love sweet shit. And it's
OD.
the same with our youngest. Loves sweet stuff. Loves like dessert food, but it
Yep.
literally like I feel like she has a sugar sensitivity though, where like it makes her feel like shit after. She'll get the big the big sugar high, but then she will crash hard. She'll go from like
Yeah.
not being able to stop talking, not being able to stop running, and then all at once that shit'll hit her where then she's like laying down, complaining about everything, like weepy. It's crazy that
Yep.
shit is so bad. Like sugar is just horrible for people. You know, it's just fucking terrible for people. My shit that I do
That's yeah.
is I very, very rarely. So every now and then I'll do it. Like if I need to like pick me up or something, and I got a busy day. Like every now and then I'll have a soda, but most of the time I don't
Hmm.
drink soda. I try to drink as much just seltzer as I can, and I
Yeah.
feel like just cutting out the soda is such a big thing because people get so many sugary ass calories just by downing sodas all day. You know?
Yeah. Even cereal, like I mean, like I'll crush a bowl of Frosted Flakes, and
Oh,
you don't think like how much. Yeah, and I'll have like three, four bowls of that shit. I'll eat like damn near three-fourths of the box, and then by the time, I mean, like my morning is okay because I feel refreshed and charged going out the door, but then like 10 o'clock, it hits me, and it's like, no, like you're coming down from all that sugar right now. And someone was telling me, um, I was having a conversation with actually a bunch of guys in the sauna at the gym, and they were telling me that like some of the guys upstairs were doing like microdosing of shit where they just were like feeling up the whole day. And I didn't I might have asked, or someone might have asked, but I don't know if you like they have to do that to sustain that the whole day, or if do they come down from that eventually. Like I feel like that can't be a good thing. They were like microdosing on like something that was like pretty heavy. I forgot if it was like, I don't know what it was, but it was like some shit that
it's
was like very serious.
psychedelics. That was this
Yeah,
trend
yeah,
where guys
psychedelic
would
shit. Yeah,
microdose on some psychedelic shit.
yeah,
That's crazy to me.
exactly.
I've never been a fan of psychedelics. But to your point, I even see it with caffeine, right? That like
Yeah.
usually I have I have 100 milligrams of caffeine in the morning. It used to be 200, but I lowered it to 100 milligrams. And
Hmm.
certainly when I used to take the 200, I would also have a little bit of caffeine in the afternoon. But towards the end of the day, you start crashing hard. Like what goes up
Feeling
must
it,
come
right?
down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's why I lowered it. I don't take afternoon caffeine anymore, and I only have 100 milligrams in the morning, and that's way better to deal with. The other thing is, caffeine, like, it lasts in your body like 12 hours. So anytime you have
And,
afternoon caffeine, it fucks your sleep up. Whether or not you realize it, you might feel tired, you might act tired, you might want to go to sleep, but the quality of the sleep you're getting is trash because it's still the caffeine is still working on your body, so you're not getting to those deep levels of sleep if you have any caffeine in the
oh wow.
afternoon.
Oh, I didn't know that. And I
Yeah,
was
so if
like
you're gonna have
pounding them.
coffee, you only have it in the morning. Have like one set amount in the morning, and then the rest of the day just make do without it. The other thing is like if you don't have a lot, like you can have a little bit of caffeine. If you have a little bit, it'll like it's sort of a more even feeling throughout the day. I don't like
Yeah.
the feeling anymore of me like zipping like up as fuck and then crashing. That's just a horrible like mood to be in. I'd rather be like relatively stable throughout the day,
The
you
whole
know?
day. Yeah, yeah. I wanted to ask quickly. I don't know. Do you know how it works? Like, how can any person go sit in those Congress hearings? Like, or do you have to have like a badge or a pass? Like, how? I mean, Ben and Jerry's guy probably gets in there just off of like shit he's done in the community and just his name recognition. But like, can anybody just show up to shit in Washington and kind of just go like it's a TV show?
Yeah, most of the time, yeah. Most of the time
Oh,
anybody
for
can
real?
get in. It depends what the event is. Yeah, it depends what the event is, but for most stuff anybody can go. But you do have to go through, security and they
Yeah,
make
yeah,
sure you
yeah.
don't have weapons on you and shit like that. But anybody can go. And the thing that I think the Ben and Jerry's thing was also tied to, it was this. Okay, and I actually covered this the other day. I just didn't realize that the guy from Ben and Jerry's was there. They were
Uh-huh.
protesting the Medicaid cuts, that the Republicans are trying to cut Medicaid $880 billion. And so that's what, and so
Really?
I just covered this video too of like, you got all these people, bro, that are like in wheelchairs and disabled, and they all showed up and they were protesting, and they're like, you guys are going to kill me. Like, you're going to kill me because I can't afford what I need in terms of healthcare, and you guys are going to cut it. It's really heartbreaking. The shit that they're doing, man, it's just so fucked up. Like, they just want to destroy the country. They don't give a fuck about these people. They're like, go, I don't
I
care that
have
you can't afford your healthcare.
I have a buddy that got laid off and he was able to get health insurance, but he told me it was $2,600 a month.
Probably
Is
Cobra.
it?
I think it's Cobra.
Yeah, yeah, Cobra. That was
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's OD. $2,600
Yeah.
a month for someone who was unemployed.
Yeah. It's some weird program where like it has to do with your former employer and you get like a discounted rate. But there you go. There's the discounted rate. It's like,
Yeah, that's what I'm
who can
saying.
fucking
Like,
afford that?
like he told me
Nobody can
that, and
afford
I was
that.
like, "Yo, that to me was insane." He was like, "I might be on some Luigi shit."
Yeah, and bro, not only that, but like he probably made too much money the last year to get Medicaid, which would be the other way to go where it's
Yeah. Oh,
cheaper, but he probably made too much his financial forms from the year before probably say he made too much so he can't get Medicaid. And now he's just
yeah.
sort of fucked and he's got to deal with Cobra and it's like can't afford it. Bro, this country, any other country, like you if you leave a job to go find another job, like you don't have to worry about healthcare. Like if I get sick, I just get help because everything's paid for by the government. This is like the only country
Yeah.
where they're like they tie your healthcare to your job. And so you're like, I can't really lose this job and I can't even really switch jobs because I got to make sure I'm covered and my wife's got this problem and I got that problem and I need my medication and I can't afford it. Like it really is this weird like semi-slavery like situation where you're like tied to your job no matter
Yeah.
what. Like you don't have the freedom to even just like change jobs.
Yep. Yep. And it's literally can you hear me?
Yep.
It's
I got
across
you.
the board in literally any any category. So like I was at a school today and I heard them like at some ceremony talking about the government is shutting, like they're not sending as much funds to the school anymore. I live right by New Jersey, and they're saying that like the New Jersey Transit's on strike. So like transportation, school, healthcare, government, literally every single like sector is getting affected by like just shit that's getting put into place. Medicare, health, like it's wild, bro. It's wild that literally like there's not one person that's out there that's just like, yeah, everything's just been status quo good in my eyes right now. Like I don't think anyone can say that comfortably.
And at the same time, I'm sure you saw Walmart came out and was like, we got to raise our prices because of the tariffs. And somebody who works at like a
No, I didn't
Target
see
took a
that. They came
picture.
out and said that.
Yeah, they came out and were like, we got to, in the summer, we have to raise prices because of the tariffs. And then there was somebody who works at like a Target or something, and he showed the difference in price for a USB-C cable. It was $9.99, and it just got increased to $17.99. So not only do you have all of the safety net shit that you're talking about, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, like all this shit is under attack. At the same time, it's also going to be like the shit you go buy at the store is going to be more expensive. So, like, you're getting hit from both sides. Like, you're fucked from both sides.
Yeah. Did Trump, did he go after the Walmart guy, like, for saying that they're gonna have to increase prices, or he hasn't hit him yet?
He went after Walmart. He tweeted about it. But remember when he used to say that the other countries pay the tariffs. China's going to pay the tariffs. It's going to be them. You're not going to pay the tariffs.
Yeah.
Well, now he's attacking Walmart, and it's like, well, you're acknowledging that China's not going to pay the tariffs, right? And then the other thing is, like, of course they're going to have to raise prices. The idea that they could just eat the tariff. They can't afford to. You slap like a 30% tariff on that shit, their profit margin is 2.7%. Like, that's not possible for them to eat like, of course they're going to pass it on. So it's just, he just lied about it the whole time. He knew that shit was going to raise prices. And he doesn't care as long as he tries to make it look like, oh, yeah, no, I'm fighting for you. Yeah, lower the prices. Like, that ain't going to fucking work, dog. It's just he's such a con artist. It's crazy.
And I saw, like, I mean, like, I don't really like Theo Von. I don't listen to his shit, but I saw he was with, like, Ivanka and her fucking corny-ass husband, schmoozing up with them. Like, was he... Oh, because did he do some speech for the military people in the Middle East or something like that?
Yeah, I actually just talked about this too, the Theo Von thing. Like, he's one of the few people in the Rogan sphere that, like, he sort of came out not with that much dirt on him. Like, you look at Joe Rogan, you look at Tom Segura, you look at Bert Kreischer, you look at, like, all of those guys, and people kind of look at them now like, you guys are really out of touch. Chris D'Elia is like, he's in a whole other world of hurt because he was basically caught doing all sorts of sex creepy shit, you know? But, like, all the Rogan people sort of look at them now like, you're kind of out of touch, right? Like, Rogan talking about how, I try to conquer my inner bitch by putting myself through adversity. And then when he talks about what the adversity is, he's like, I do a cold plunge in a sauna and I lift weights. And it's like, bro, you're talking to people in a country that can't pay their fucking medical bills and, like, just got fired. And like, that's not fucking difficult. So they all seem out of touch. The one person who everybody looks at like, oh, he seems pretty cool, is Theo Von. But then, like, he also sort of snuggled up to Trump on some shit, you know? Like, and so you can't have your all shucks, like, I'm a down-to-earth dude mentality, but then also be like, I hang out with Donald Trump and I love the Trumps. Like, nah, sort of fuck you.
Yeah. I'm kind of, like, obviously I want the Knicks to win the championship, but I'm kind of going to be tight if they do a little bit, because someone on the team, like, if Jalen Brunson goes to the White House and is shaking hands with Donald Trump, like, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, I can't see him going. He seems like too good of a person, right? Don't you think?
Yeah, you would hope. But yeah, that's like a lot of teams and players and fans. Just changing topics. Did you see the guy on top of the Jumbotron?
Yes, that was crazy. That was crazy, bro.
Insane, like, what people do. That was bugged out. I wanted to ask you, and we could. It's a little choppy, but, like, what were your thoughts on this big ass ship that crashed into the?
Oh my god!
Did you cover this one?
I didn't cover it, but I saw it. And I remember just thinking, like, this is so indicative of how nothing works anymore. Like, everything is just broken 24/7 in this country. Like, even the most basic shit doesn't fucking work. Because apparently there was some sort of mechanical problem, and the ship just started moving towards the bridge. But it looked like nobody even really gave a fuck, and you had people doing some performance where they were standing on the masts of the ship, and then the ship hits
The
and
top.
people start falling off and shit. It's like, how did you not know where this was going to end up when the shit started moving towards the bridge? How did you not
Yeah.
know? How did all of you just continue on with the show on some normal shit?
Yeah, it was very weird, and like it was scary sight because I mean like you look right back to the Baltimore bridge that collapsed. There was mad cars on the Brooklyn Bridge at that time. Like they were like not stopping. And then two, it just that boat looked like it was from like 1920. Like it looked like the weird. It was just the weirdest scene when I saw that, and I was like, that's not real. Like that's some AI shit. And then like the way that like more videos just kept coming out, and I mean like it sucks. It happened. There was like fatalities and people were injured, but like it was just so crazy seeing that video that like it almost is just like how does that boat even get approved to like be on water and like there's no like
Yeah. How
checks
did
and
any of this
like
happen? How was any of this allowed? Like, what the fuck are we doing, bro?
like a random person takes a boat out and there's like there'll be a lifeguard boat shit out there like giving them a ticket and like shooing them off the water. That boat must have been going for dumb long. Like if it was some like Mexican boat shit, like did it come from Mexico?
I don't know the back. I didn't read about the backstory, but yeah, there was some Mexican flag up there, and they were putting on some sort of performance, and there were like 80 people recording the shit. Like there were
Yeah,
so many
people were
different
laughing
angles of that shit hitting the bridge. You know, there were so many.
Yeah,
I saw 7
yeah.
different videos of like, here's it hitting from this angle, here's it hitting from this other angle.
It was,
I was like, what the fuck is going on, bro?
yeah.
I did wanna go
And then
back to the Knicks though. Hold on, I do want to go back to the Knicks
yeah,
though
yeah, yeah.
because we haven't talked since they won the series, right? We
I
haven't done a
know. I mean, I
podcast
got
since
my
they won, bro. I felt like I never realized how much it would actually matter to me when the Knicks actually start doing well. Like I've always been a Knicks fan, but like
yeah.
I just sort of walled off that part of my mind that like cares a lot, where I just expect to be disappointed every season.
Yeah,
But
you
this is the
never know
first
what it's
time.
like to actually be like, wow, we can actually like you always think they can win this shit because we're just delusional, but now it's like might actually happen.
And look, I'll say this. This might be controversial, but like even if they get swept in the next series by the Pacers, I'm still just so thankful that Jalen got us all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, and this team like bust their
Yeah.
fucking ass, bro. Like, because we haven't
Yeah.
experienced this since what 1999, I think was the last time we got to the Eastern Conference
Yeah,
Finals.
2000. Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
That's
99
crazy,
2000.
bro.
Yeah.
That's 25 years ago, dog. What the fuck?
Yeah. It's and like we're not the Memphis Grizzlies. We're not, like some like Seattle that moved, like we're not the Portland Trailblazers. Like it's New York City. It shouldn't be 25 years for a team to go to, an NBA Eastern Conference Finals. So, yeah, to your point, it's like I I was I went to an Eastern Conference Finals game in 2000 and experienced it, but like didn't really appreciate it because I
Right.
was
You were
however old I
young.
was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you were
so
young
like
as
I'm
fuck.
like, oh, okay, like we'll be back next year. And players say that. They're like they go to a Super Bowl in their rookie year and they're like, "Oh, this is what it's like." And then they don't make it back for like another 20 years or 15 years or so,
Yep.
and then they're like, "Damn, like so it's cool to see the city go crazy like that because it's like you just to your point, you don't ever we've never gotten this far. And it's almost like when you like get to a new level in a video game, you're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I thought the game just ended at level 7." Like that's just how it goes. And then there's like level 8 and you're like, "Oh shit, there's like new graphics. There's like a new character I got to defeat." Like
Yup.
so like
Yup.
that level of excitement when you finally beat a level. And I know I've said this in the past, but like there was Splinter Cell, Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell for Xbox. There was one level that I just could never beat, and I almost like stopped playing the game. I think I might have actually stopped playing the game, and maybe I'm just lying about this part, and I never beat it. But I feel like I finally got past that level and was like, wow, like that one took way too long, and two, like holy shit, this next level is like next level.
Yeah. No, totally. I remember in the middle of the NBA season, um, I just had this feeling. I was like, I'm gonna place a bet on who's gonna be in the finals, and I said, it's going to be OKC and the Knicks. And so I placed a
Damn.
$5 bet that OKC and the Knicks would be in the finals. Yeah.
You
I
actually
placed a $5 bet that OKC and the Knicks would be in the finals, right? But the other day, we looked at the betting app. We looked at the bet. And so if I was right and they got all the way to the finals, my $5 makes me 75. But we looked at the shit, and it was all... I know, it's kind of crazy, right? That's it. But anyway, I looked at the shit, and it...
2 teams.
It said I could cash out now $5 to get 25. So they were already offering me $20 profit.
Yeah.
And I was like, I remember the story about your brother, and I was like, I'm cashing out on that bitch right now. And so I did.
Took it?
I did. I took it because I remember your brother bet Justin Rose, bro.
Yeah,
and
then my stepbrother. Yeah.
Your stepbrother, I know. He lost in the fucking playoff against Rory, and he didn't cash out. And when I saw that, I was like, I'm not making that same mistake. And so I was given an offer. It's only $20, but winning any bet on those like FanDuel website type shit, I'm like, oh shit, that's what's up. I won some money because usually when I bet, I'll bet the golf and I'll put like $2 on this thing and $1 on that thing and $2 on this other thing, and like. Usually I just sort of tread water. Like, I don't lose money, but I don't make money. It's like I lose. I win like 2 bets for every one I lose, but it just sort of evens out. And so this was one of the first like actual profitable things I did. But I'm going to feel so stupid if the finals actually is OKC versus the Knicks, because then I could have made $75.
Yeah. I mean, it always like would be nice like to see that end result, but like, it's the same thing as buying like a Mega Millions ticket. I mean, not like to the same extent, but like obviously that number is like 780 million. You're like, I'm in play for that, like, and it's rare that it doesn't happen in the Mega Millions, but like to just get a little bit of money from that shit and like put it on. Now you can put it on some Indiana series shit, So to me, I think that's a win. There's 2 things in golf that I saw that were dope recently. Rory won. They asked him what his thoughts were on Bryson, like when he didn't talk to him at the Masters, and he kind of like gangster was like, I was trying to win the Masters. Like, I'm not going to talk to anybody. And then Nike came out with a dope ad. I don't know if you saw this, but it was Scotty Scheffler swinging. And it was like, #1 in golf, guilty as charged.
Yeah, and with his feet all fucked up because he swings with... Yeah, his feet not even on the ground. Yeah, no, that's cool as fuck, man. Well,
guilty. I think that was like because of that whole like arrest shit.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. He handled that so calmly, bro. Yeah, he handled that so calm. He was just like, okay, I guess you're arresting me. He didn't even try to pull him with a, do you know who I am? Like, I'm the #1 player in the world, and you just stopped me from going to my job.
That's what I'm saying. Like not even like I'm the #1 player in the world and I'm going to get a cup of coffee like in my local town. I'm going to the event that like I'm favored to win.
Yeah, that was so crazy. I think that guy may have gotten demoted. That cop, because I know the charges were thrown out and it was expunged from his record, which means like it's like the arrest never even happened.
Yeah,
but I think that guy may have gotten demoted.
That's one thing that like actually. Have there been cuts in like police enforcement and stuff like that? I feel like that's one thing that you haven't. I mean, I
that's the one thing that they're not.
Videos. Yeah.
They don't cut the military. They don't cut the police. Police are more of a local shit, but like they never cut. Nobody ever cuts the police. It's always military's always through the roof and police are always through the roof. But they don't think about it like that when it comes to like the social safety net. But I want to get tell me your predictions for the rest of the NBA playoffs, because I'm curious what you think is going to happen. I know what you want to happen. You want Knicks to sweep the Pacers and Knicks to win the finals in a sweep. Tell me what you think will happen.
Yeah. Well, I think I didn't watch OKC Denver, but my sister and my brother-in-law were watching it. They live in Denver, and they said that the refs were ODing for OKC to win that night. And it didn't surprise me because Aaron Gordon was injured, so like the Nuggets were banged up. Their whole storyline of they fired their coach, like the team was kind of in a debacle a little bit.
Right. Yeah.
So the NBA was like, they won a championship. Let's see a new team, a new market. OKC's fan base wiles out. They probably spend a lot of money if they won. So it doesn't surprise me that like to hear them say that the refs were favoring them. which scares me going into the next series because I think Minnesota is a better team. I think Minnesota is like
Then
clicking on all
OKC.
cylinders right now.
Wow,
I think right now, regular season OKC
they were
waxed them.
barely made the
Like
playoffs. They were sixth. Yeah,
um, but I think that the way the Timberwolves are rolling, I think like Julius Randle and Anthony Edwards are just clicking. Nas Reed is nice. They got some other dude. I can't even think of his name. Um, maybe McDaniels or some shit. But not Rudy Gay.
Rudy Gobert. Rudy
Rudy,
Gobert.
what the fuck is their centers? Rudy Gobert.
Gobert.
Yeah. I think Minnesota is gonna beat
Keep breaking
OKC,
up.
and I think that's gonna go 7 games. So I think the Timberwolves are gonna make the finals, and then I think honestly, I think a lot of people are picking the Knicks to win in 7. Okay. I think the Knicks,
That's
honestly, I think the Knicks are gonna win in either 5 or 6. I think I think they're gonna kind of steamroll Indiana, even though they're a good team, they're well coached. I think it's gonna be Knicks Wolves. Knicks are gonna win in 5 or 6, and then the Wolves are gonna win in 7.
I think Knicks are going to win in 7 against the Pacers. I think the Pacers have looked like superhuman in the playoffs. They were just like whatever in the regular season, but they look superhuman in the playoffs. And I actually disagree. I think OKC is going to beat the Timberwolves. I think Anthony Edwards will do his thing, but I feel like the Timberwolves are a more well-rounded team, and like it's not all on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in a way where it's kind of all on Anthony Edwards with a little bit of help from Julius Randle. So I still think it's going to be OKC versus Knicks in the finals. But having said that, I can see this shit going either way, dog. All right, dog. We should definitely wrap it up because we can't. Yeah, our internet sucks donkey dick right now.
Brought to you by fucking All right, love you, bro. Thanks.
All right, later, bro.